Women act like men.
What's up, though? Damn.
You got them thick pants on today.
Yeah, I love for you. You got the money?
She aggressive. Candy just for me. Yeah, you for me. What's some skin for?
They are showing how aggressive and coercive men are with women.
You always yelling, cussing, talking ghetto, or using controlling words. That's being masculine.
That's all it is. Masculinity is a tool to justify the control and domination of women and children and feminine presenting people.
The reason why relationships are not working anymore is because of the polarity shift. It's because we have so many women that are walking around in their masculine, and we have so many men that are walking around in their feminine.
And your projection of their masculinity is actually just a reflection on how you view other people that don't align to what society has pushed upon them for centuries.
If men were more feminine, society would be better. I did a video yesterday on TikTok where I was talking about how men know that it's all men, right? Like men, to me, men pretty much openly admit that it's all men. You just have to reword the question. Okay. So if you guys don't know, in America, if you ask the average American, are they in favor of socialism? They will say no. The average American will say no, right? And that makes sense if you've ever gone through the American school system, with the propaganda that we had to go through, like the McCarthy tribunals and the Red Scare and all that stuff. Americans are very ignorant to political systems and religions outside of Christianity and capitalism. And that's for a reason. We all know that. The vast majority of Americans don't have a college level understanding of these systems. The majority of us don't study them beyond high school to any significant end, right? So when you ask the average American, are you in favor of socialism? No, they're going to say no. But if you ask the average American, are they in favor of social programs, and take out the word social, but just actually describe the institution, actually describe the system, something like Medicare for all. Most Americans are in favor of Medicare for all. That's socialism. Most Americans are in favor of the public school system. That's socialism. Most Americans are in favor of the judicial system, us having a judicial system, a police apparatus, right? A police presence, socialism, fire department, socialism, social security, socialism. The best parts about our godforsaken system is the socialist aspects of it, right? But if you ask an American straight up, are they in favor of socialism? They will say no, because they are propagandized to reject specific word and specific verbiage. And the reason why that's important, it's genius that they did that in the education system, because it makes it so much harder for us to have these conversations, because we can't call the thing the thing. We have to call it all these other things, and you can't connect it to a system. You can't connect it to an institution, right? So the only thing that we can talk about to any real end is capitalism. Okay, cool. So keep that in mind. That same principle, that same logic, that same practice is essentially how men think of not all men, or it's all men, or whatever the case may be, right? When women say it's all men until it's no men, men reflexively go into fight mode. No, it's not all men. Oh, my daddy's a good daddy. I know good men out there. What about the good guys? Good guys, good guys, good guys, right? That's how we're programmed to react that way. But if you remove that from the situation and you just ask men in different ways, is it all men? For an example, I did this yesterday. I said that one example that men know it's all men is because of body count, the body count discussion. So you're saying that every time a woman sleeps with a man, her value goes down. It doesn't matter the man. You guys never get specific. You don't say if she sleeps with a broke man. You don't say if she sleeps with a short man. You don't say if she sleeps with a fat. No. It's just the number of men. Doesn't matter the caliber of men. It's just the number of men. Men lower the value of women. So it's all men. The body count discussion in and of itself proves that it's all men. And men will admit that, because if you ask them again, if you said, well, what if she slept with 100 bankers, successful bankers? Does that matter? They would probably say, I mean, at least they got money. Yeah, they're not sleeping with a Pookie and a Ray Ray. Okay, but they still slept with 100 men. 100 men is 100 men, right? So it's all men. See what I'm saying? Same thing as with the socialism discussion. Men have been propagandized to reflexively uphold the patriarchy. We have been the same way that we have been propagandized to reflexively hold up capitalism, racism, and Christianity. We are reflexively programmed to do that. We are programmed to do that reflexively. Okay, so another example of this is masculinity and femininity, right? I say masculinity is toxic, full stop. Men say, oh, you're crazy, you're gaslighting, you're pandering, I go, okay, but you guys think that masculinity is toxic.
Women act like men.
What's up, though? Damn.
Got them thick pants on today.
Yeah, I love for you. You got the money?
She aggressive. Candy, this for me. You for me? What you scared for?
I'm just she grabbing my ass.
I got the money, man.
Good. I like that with that Dior.
Hey, don't be breaking me over with these thirsty ass girls.
I got the money, bro.
Yeah,
Just
check
be
it
cool, folks. Damn. I'm saying, though, where my money at?
This your money right here, baby.
That's good, because I ain't got no boxes on right now.
Yeah.
My son. Oh.
What's up with you?
I don't do nothing without protection.
Oh, that's cool. We straight. Oh, well. I keep one. Come on, check it out. Come on, check it out. We go. Damn, that little motherfucker was big.
Yeah, I know.
So when you coming back over?
When you give me some more money.
That shit right here, baby.
All right, I'm going to be back over there.
Let me go. Look, don't have me come over here no more, okay? I don't care what you got going on. Die. They nasty.
Man, stop bringing these soft ass hard legs. He's scary as hell. You said he was going. He ain't getting out $1.
All right, I'm hollering at you.
Hey, so you trying to make some money, gang?
I already made money.
Man, matter of fact, come
This, don't get me wrong, they're trying to act like women just be, doing shit for money, whatever. I don't even care about that part. The part that I care about is they are showing how aggressive and coercive men are with women. Like the men are doing this. That's how men act. The men are in on it. Nobody disagreeing. There's a bunch of men in the comments like, this funny. Masculinity is toxic. Y'all know it is. You make jokes about how toxic masculinity is all the time. Look, you don't believe me? So listen to what this woman says about women acting like men, being masculine, right? Listen to what she says, how she describes masculinity, and tell me this shit ain't toxic. This is a woman saying it, don't get me wrong, but watch. Just listen to what she says.
You always yelling, cussing, talking ghetto, or using controlling words, that's being masculine. If when he speaks, you're always interrupting him, trying to talk over him, or trying to control the conversation, that's being masculine.
She is openly saying that masculinity or masculine men are controlling. I don't know what planet we live on. I don't know what planet, if you live on a different planet than I live on, but on the planet Earth, controlling is never a good thing. Controlling is never a good thing. Right? She just said it twice. She gave 2 examples of if women acted like men, if women were masculine, how those things, what those things look like, and those things are controlling in nature. That's what she's saying. Keep going. Watch.
If he's trying to give you advice or give you constructive criticism or maybe give you an opinion on something and you're being dismissive or minimizing his perspective, that's being masculine.
Again, so if you can't take constructive criticism, you're acting like a man. Toxic. She 2 for 2, right? 3 for 3, actually. She's 3 for 3 right now. She ain't lying. And mind y'all, keep this in mind. She's a pygmy. She is trying to tell women to not be masculine, to be feminine. She's not condemning men for being this way. She is justifying it. She's saying that's just masculinity and it's okay because men can be like that. Men can be controlling. Men can be fucking narcissistic and not be able to receive criticism, constructive criticism. That's okay. That's just being a man. But women, you can't do that though, which I get. I mean, I don't want women to be like that either. But why the fuck should men be able to be like that? This is fucking nuts. Listen, men know that masculinity is toxic. Everybody knows, women know too, but men know especially.
Or like if you always making decisions without at least talking to him or making him feel like he's beneath you or overly expressing your independence, all those things are masculine because you will make him feel like he has no space to contribute or to lead. Now, ladies,
Oh, you mean like men do to women? You mean like how men make decisions without including the woman that's fucking in their life, like their wives and their girlfriends and the mothers of their children, and those decisions oftentimes blow back on the mothers of their children and the wives and the girlfriends, and they didn't even include them in the fucking decision-making process. And then when the women bring it up, they try to minimize what the women are experiencing and how the women are processing it. Like, oh, nah, you tripped, mama. Just be totally dismissive. Men do that. Yeah, that's very masculine. I don't disagree with anything she's saying. I don't. She said everything she is saying, I 100% agree with. That's why I say masculinity is toxic. I'm just trying to figure out why, when she says it, everybody is, the men are so receptive.
I understand with the lack of masculine men, sometimes we got to be Wonder Woman, and it seems like depending on a man is weak and controlling. But in so many words, ladies, it's okay to be a strong, leading, independent woman. But it's also okay to be a soft, submissive, and listening woman for your man.
That's not what you were saying. Just if those, the last part about what you were saying and everything else you said before that, they don't align whatsoever. You were telling women essentially to allow men to manipulate them and to control them simply because that's the role of women, and that's the role, like the role of men is to be controlling and dominant, and the role of women is to be controlled and submissive. That's what you were saying. That's your overall message. But anyways, so yeah, a woman said this, right? Okay, cool. Now, how do you think men reacted to this video? Do you think the men saw this video and they were like, nah, ma, you tripping. That ain't right. Nah, that ain't what masculinity is. It's not controlling. Because when listen, remember what I said in the very beginning. When I say if this heading would have said masculinity is toxic, and she said the exact same things, those men would listen, the men would not have reacted like this. This is what the men said in the comment section. This info will never get out to the public, but say something negative about a man and it will go viral. She literally was saying negative things about men. You motherfuckers are dumb. I'll get to the why they're allowing this in the end though. You hit the nail on the head. She's telling the truth. Facts, big facts, facts. Absolutely. Thumbs up 100. Seriously trying to do that with the wrong guy will not end well. Love don't mean fool. Everybody can't control themselves when the disrespect go on for too long. So he's saying when women act like men to men and they give men back the same energy that men give women, she can end up getting killed. Again, not addressing the fact that men are also violent, which is a part of masculinity. Toxic. No, it's women. Y'all need to learn how to just accept the abuse. You can't give that same energy back to men because a man could kill you. Interesting. The reason why these men felt so comfortable accepting these these truths about men that are completely negative, and really exposes how masculinity is used to control women. That's what masculinity is. That's all it is. Masculinity is a tool to justify the control and domination of women and children and feminine presenting people. That's it. That's all masculinity is, right? The antidote to that is femininity. We've had that discussion a million times. That's what that is. Okay, cool. And the reason why they're willing to openly accept it in this instance, one reason is because they're dumb. But number two is she's doing the Kevin Samuels thing, where Kevin Samuels would say something about men, like he would call men brokies, and he would be very classist and very anti-black, even in black. This is not specifically to black men, but just for an example, he would be very classist. He would be very anti-black, right? But in the end, he would criticize women, right? And as long as he criticized women, the men were willing to accept all the negative things he had just said about men. They would even adopt it and say, yeah, that's true. Men are broke. We got to get our money up. They were okay with that. They just they don't, because it's men aren't, we're not having a genuine conversation. So we don't care what you say about us. We're just going to disregard it anyway. And we're going to get straight to, oh, what did you have to say about those women? Yeah, women, stop trying to be like men. Stop trying to give us the same energy we giving y'all. We can't take that. Our egos are too big. We can't accept a woman trying to treat us like the way we treat them. Masculinity is created to dominate y'all. Y'all can't use it to dominate us. Absolutely the fuck not. This is what it sounds like. This is what the men, this is why the men are crashing out, and they're really going in and they're being vague. That woman, I'm so glad she actually gave some characteristics. The men are always vague though when they talk about masculinity and women being like masculine, right?
The reason why relationships are not working anymore is because of the polarity shift. It's because we have so many women that are walking around in their masculine, and we have so many men that are walking around in their feminine. And the roles have become reversed because of societal norms.
If men were more feminine, society would be better. Men aren't more feminine. Men are just as masculine as we've always been. We're just as oppressive as we've always been. We're just as coercive. We're just as toxic as we've always been. That's not the problem. The problem is women are rejecting it. The part about masculinity that these men hate the most is masculinity is freedom. Freedom from consequences, right? But masculinity is freedom, right? They don't like that women have freedom. Now, women don't have freedom. They don't have enough freedom to have freedom of consequences, but they do have freedom to walk away from men, to stay away from men, to not deal with men. They even have the freedom to disrespect men to some degree, right? And that's what these men don't like.
New societal norms. Women cannot feel feminine if that man is not in tune with his healthy masculine. Healthy masculine isn't a spineless pushover coward, but he's also not a possessive, controlling asshole. He knows how to lead with grace, how to be decisive in his decisions, and how to own his opinions.
That's not what the men are saying about masculinity, though. That's not what the men are saying. And why would, again, think about it logically. Why would these attributes and traits be a negative if women exhibited them? If both people exhibited this, the relationships would be great. That's not the problem. The problem isn't that women don't take accountability and men do now, or some shit like that. That's not what's going on. The problem is men still don't take accountability for fucking anything that men do. And they do this weird shit where you guys try to talk around what's really going on and manipulate women into just being submissive and accepting terrible behaviors and terrible treatment. That's really all it is. All men need to do is develop character. All men need to do is be more feminine. Femininity is all about accountability. Masculinity is all about freedom of responsibility and accountability. That they're juxtaposed. I'm telling you without a doubt. I'm gonna let my boy Lex break this down further because this is another aspect of masculinity that men. This is another aspect of the whole like women are inner masculine that the men, you know, they say the quiet part out loud, right? Or they don't, you know, they try to like act like, you know, dance around this part of it too, because a lot of men try to do this too.
A lot of women nowadays are just too masculine.
Oh dear. Where do we begin with this one? So if by masculine you mean strong, assertive, or independent, then why would you see that to be a bad thing? These characteristics would typically be associated with masculinity, being strong, being assertive, being independent. But the minute a woman shows any of these characteristics or skills, suddenly it's used as a way to be seen as a negative or unattractive. Women aren't more masculine and less feminine. Women are choosing to do things that might involve skills or characteristics that enable them to do the things that they want to do rather than what they've always been told to do, which is to be a mother. When you describe a man who is a CEO of a company, you might say that some of those skills and characteristics and attributes that they have is what's got them to that position in the first place. A woman who might want to be a CEO who also needs to learn the same skill set doesn't mean that she is now masculine for doing so. And all this does is continue the narrative of upholding gender stereotypes by saying that men and women shouldn't have certain jobs. Women were always told what they needed to do to be feminine, but also because that is what benefits men. And all this really is men realizing that women have more choice, more autonomy, and what men think that means is they have less control, which is exactly how it should be. And your projection of their masculinity is actually just a reflection on how you view other people that don't align to what society has pushed upon them for centuries. And so all you're doing is using the term masculine towards women as an insult, which is no different to saying to a man that if he's caring and nurturing, that would be feminine and a bad thing. And so tell me this, what is it that really bothers you about meeting a man that is caring or meeting a woman that is assertive?
Couldn't have said it better myself. And the answer to the question is, in that man's mind, the reason why he doesn't want to meet an assertive woman is because an assertive woman is less likely to accept abuse from him. And the reason why he doesn't like when men are nurturing is because that proves that men can be nurturing, and we have to stop putting that responsibility solely on women. We have to develop what the skills it takes to be nurturing, right? Because women also have to develop those skills. They're not born nurturers, right? I think we're all born with like a sense of nurturing abilities, right? Or whatever you want to say. But to be as good as women become at nurturing, they actively work at it. They actively put the time in to be better nurturers, and they do what it takes to do so. And men cannot see other men be feminine. They can't accept that, because if a feminine man exists, then the whole lie about men eat steak, women eat salad goes away. Because the women are going to go, wait, but there's a man over there eating. There's a lot of men over there eating salads. What the fuck are y'all talking about? And that's what the patriarchal man, they can't have that. They cannot have that, because then the women will actually have this expectation of them, and that will create a dynamic in which men will need to be held accountable for their actions.